From KCRG TV9, this is First Alert Weather Now.
Well, good Friday evening, everybody. I am meteorologist AJ Rickman with your Friday night edition of First Alert Weather Now. We do have some changes in our weather that are arriving as we go through the weekend, and we'll break down all the details of that and how it will impact your weekend plans coming up. So we'll start you off with what you need to know. The first thing you need to know, we do have one more day of warm weather. Tomorrow we'll have highs in the mid to upper 80s, but it's going to be our last day of temperatures being that warm for the foreseeable future. Once we get into the weekend, we are going to see some much needed rain that will be arriving. And then behind that rain, we do have those cooler temperatures arrive, and they are going to arrive just in time for the official start of fall. As we head through the night tonight, like I mentioned, we're warm. Temperatures drop through the 80s and then into the 70s. Overnight, we drop into the 60s for lows. A little bit of cloud cover moves in through the night as well, and that cloud cover will eventually lead to some scattered shower and storm chances as we go through the day on Saturday. Once we get it into Saturday night, we're going to see some more widespread rain move in, and then that will carry into Sunday as well. But then there's your cool down. Temperatures drop, high temperatures drop 20 degrees on Sunday, but we are going to be keeping some of that wet weather around. Could have an impact on some of your weekend plans. And for a little more on that, we'll toss things over to Justin Roberts, who has today's forecast for fun.
On this finally Friday, a big weekend of stuff to look forward to, including that rain we've been talking about. The good news is this, your Saturday, even your Friday night looking great. Saturday doesn't feature the rain moving in until the mid-afternoon, but it'll be a soggy one for Sunday and Monday. We have more showers. Notice the cooling temperatures as well. Fall Festival rolls on, and it'll finally feel like fall as you head out to our good friends at Bloomsbury Farm. 80s as we roll through the rest of today, and as you see tomorrow, scattered showers and low 70s for Sunday with that rain. Here is your farmers market forecast. A fall farmers market, upper 70s to low 80s by the late morning. Will bring chances of rain in afterwards, so should be a dry farmers market. College football, 1, 2, 3 graphics and forecasts to go. We start in Ames with scattered showers as we watch Iowa State take on Arkansas State. Temps in the upper 70s to lower 80s. That's a 1:30 game. 6:30 tomorrow night, Hawkeyes in Minnesota taking on the Gophers. Tailgate temp, upper 70s. Kickoff, about low 70s. Upper 60s through the end of the game. And the late game we've all been hoping we could go to, but unfortunately we just got to look at the forecast. We'll look for Northern Iowa at Hawaii tomorrow night, 11 o'clock game. 86 for the tailgate, 81 for the kickoff, 75 for the end of the game. Yes, that is an 11 o'clock Iowa kickoff tomorrow night. Get your naps in while some of those showers build in Saturday. And always, you can find full detailed forecast and much more at kcrg.com. Corey?
Now, your First Alert forecast with meteorologist AJ Rickman.
Well, Justin, thanks for that update on what we have to look forward to as we head into the weekend. The other thing we have to look forward to as we go into this weekend is the official start of fall. That is in 2 days on September 22nd. This Sunday, we'll have the autumnal equinox and get into the official start of the fall season. Now, your First Alert forecast for the next 24 hours. We do have that chance for some rain and some storms. Some of them could be strong as we get into tomorrow afternoon. There is also that chance for a few scattered showers and storms through the morning tomorrow, but it does look like those will be rather hit or miss. More widespread rain comes in as we get into tomorrow night and then into the start of the day on Sunday. Right now, it is gorgeous out there. Hardly a cloud in the sky as we look over Decorah this Friday afternoon. It's a little warm though. Those temperatures are in the upper 80s in Iowa City, Waterloo, and Cedar Rapids. Mid 80s in Dubuque. Decorah is the cool spot there at 79. Those dew points are quite comfortable as well. That cold front that came through last night and brought us those storms brought some dry air, but it didn't really bring much in the way of cooler air, except for Decorah. They're enjoying a pretty nice night out there. 79 degrees. I would not complain about that at all. Now, overnight, we're going to cool off into the upper 50s to lower 60s. Some clouds move in later on tonight. And like I mentioned, that does translate into a chance for some storms as we get into tomorrow. Tomorrow's another warm day. Highs are in the mid to upper 80s, and we do keep that south wind and chance of storms around. Highs are still 10 degrees above normal. Now, as we start your day on Saturday, like I mentioned, maybe a few scattered showers and storms during the morning hours, but a lot of areas are going to stay dry. Once we get into the afternoon, we do see some more storms work their way in from the west. These are a little more widespread, but still rather scattered in nature, a little bit hit or miss. As we get into the 5 o'clock hour on your Saturday, again, more of that scattered activity works its way in. Some of those storms could become a little bit strong, maybe have some gusty wind and some hail, but it doesn't look like there's any widespread severe weather threat. Now, once we get into Saturday night, that's going to be when we start to see more widespread rainfall build in across the area. Looks like the heaviest of that rain falls in areas just along and south of I-80. The farther south you go, the heavier your rainfall. But I do think everyone in eastern Iowa at some point this weekend is going to see some rainfall, which would be needed. As we get into the day on Sunday, especially the afternoon hours, that rain does look like it eventually tapers off, but we keep a lot of cloud cover around for the second half of your day Sunday, so expect a pretty gloomy and dreary end to your weekend with pretty gray skies, lots of cloud cover. As I mentioned, that rainfall, best chance is going to be farther south for that heaviest rainfall, but still, a lot of areas see over half an inch, maybe close to an inch in some areas. Going to be the best rainfall chance we've had in quite a while. Once we get past this week, and into the end of September and October, it does look like we return back to more of a dry pattern. It's going to be a little bit warmer than average as well, but it's going to be a big temperature drop regardless. We go from 87 on Saturday down into the 60s for Sunday and Monday. And then, like I mentioned, the temperatures do return to a little bit warmer than normal as we get into the end of your 9-day forecast, but still not too bad. We're going to have a lot of clear skies coming up next week as well, which does provide some opportunities for stargazing. And for that, we'll toss things over to Joe Winters to have a look at Beyond the Weather.
As long as the weather stays quiet, there's always great things to take a look at the skies in eastern Iowa, especially at night. That's why we like to take you in a look beyond the weather. Let's look at what it looks like as we head through September 20th at 8 o'clock. It's going to be a really, really nice view of three very, very easy to find constellations. Of course, one of the easiest of note is going to be in our northwest sky. That's where you'll find the Big Dipper. As you head farther off toward the northeastern sky, the W, that's the Queen, Cassiopeia, and you can also see the Little Dipper emanating from Polaris. That again in our northwestern sky. That's what it'll look like 8 o'clock as we head through the next couple of nights. Along with that, we want to let you know about our moon phases. Next one coming up September 24th, 1:49 in the afternoon. That'll be our last quarter moon. Our new moon is on October 2nd, and our first quarter moon is on October 10th. We've already seen our full moon, but this is an important full moon back on September 17th. Happened at 9:34. It was our harvest moon. Now, it can also be known as the corn moon. It can also be known as the barley or fruit moon. Named for the corn harvest, only used for full moons in the first week of September, however. Otherwise, it will be known generally as the harvest moon. And the harvest moon itself is the full moon that falls closest to the fall equinox and may occur in both September or October. It occurred in September of this year. And it's named the harvest moon because it would give farmers a longer time with some light at night in the days when tractors didn't have lights to harvest the crop. So again, just experienced our harvest moon a couple of days ago. Now, as we look at the ISS, we like to see this as well. And at 7:56 tonight, visible for 4 minutes, you can also see the ISS under a clear sky. It's going to be a little bit low. The maximum height it reaches is about 16 degrees off the horizon. It appears from the northwest and disappears in our northeastern sky. So those are some things you can look at beyond the weather. We always like to take a look at any rocket launches that may be happening as well. September 24th, 1:51 p.m. at Launch Complex 40 at the Kennedy Space Center. SpaceX Crew 9 will be going up, which takes it to the International Space Station. October 10th, another launch scheduled for Complex 39A. This is a SpaceX Falcon Heavy Europa Clipper. This is an orbit that will take it over toward Jupiter to look at one of Jupiter's moons. Those are the rocket launches that are up in the Kennedy Space Center as we head through the next several weeks. And that's your complete look beyond the weather.
Joe, thanks for that look at Beyond the Weather. Now, while the next couple of nights don't look great for stargazing, we do have some better nights ahead as we get into the second half of next week. In the meantime, though, the big thing that we're dealing with is that rain that does return, that chance for rain on Sunday, cooler weather as well. Below average temperatures move in as we get into the weekend. And like I mentioned earlier, although we do get a little bit warmer than average as we get back into the second half of next week, it's not going to be that bad. It certainly won't be as warm as what we've had over the last couple of days. We're also going to be seeing some more comfortable air move in. Dew points are going to be dropping as we get into next week. We go from 68 on Saturday down into the 50s as we get into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So with those temperatures in the 70s, dew points in the 50s, it's going to feel very nice for our first full week of fall. Now, as we get into the later part of fall and continue to see our temperatures trend over the next several days and several weeks, you'll notice right now we're at that point where temperatures are starting to drop. And we'll continue to see those average temperatures drop as we go through the next couple of weeks. So right now we're in that time of year where it's really starting to feel nice. So make sure that you go out and do what you can to enjoy that time outside while we do have some nice weather. It won't be long before we're talking about that first snowfall, but until then, enjoy the nice weekend of weather, well, the wet weekend of weather, but then the nice week that follows as we get into next week. We will see you right here again next Monday at 6:30.